Right, we're back, same graveyard. I posted that video on Facebook, the last video, if you didn't see that, where we cleaned these graves up. That was one of them. And yeah, we got a really good response, lots of people knowing the families that they connect to. So I've started building a family tree for these people whose graves we've cleaned up. So we're back today to do more. We've got the big grave here, which is all overgrown. So I found some really good stuff about this. So I'm going to make a separate video on that. I'm going to clean all this up, get rid of all these bushes, and yeah, tell you a little bit about the history of the people who were buried in there. But I'll do that in a separate video. Today we're going to clean some more graves up, and I'm going to tell you about the people who were buried in the ones we cleaned up yesterday. So as well, what I did yesterday is the graves that we cleaned, I took photos of them and I put them on Find a Grave. So again, Find a Grave is a website that has photos of grave markers and some details as well. So I put them on there, and when I went on there, it told me that there's 85 requests for information and photos from graves inside just this graveyard. So what I did is I downloaded a list of all the names of the people, and yeah, today's mission is to find some of those people so we can fill those requests on Find a Grave. So yeah, we're gonna get looking now. According to Find a Grave, there's 17,000 burials in this area, which is a crazy amount. Now there's not 17,000 graves here, so I'm guessing there's lots of graves with multiple people in, and there is lots and lots and lots of unmarked graves, because this graveyard is actually full, but if you look around there's a lot of like spaces. So I'm guessing lots of unmarked graves. There's a lot of gravestones like at the edges here which have been moved from their original position. So yeah, I'm guessing there's lots of people now in unmarked graves. But yeah, so today's mission is find some of these people who, you know, the graves are missing, if you like. Take some photos, and then yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about the people we found yesterday. So here's a little bit of a mad one. So this one with the anchor on, what we found yesterday, I thought obviously there might be some kind of naval connection. Now the man buried in there is a man called Joseph Sutton, and he lived on a barge. He married a woman called Charlotte Dean, and there's a lot of other connections to his family in this graveyard, so people have told me, which I'm going to find. But the maddest one is this. So somebody contacted me saying that their great granduncle is this guy. Now he had a brother called William Sutton, and William Sutton had a daughter named Christiana. Now I've only just spotted this, just watch out way, Ro. So the grave next to it, which we will clean up, this is what it says. It says Elizabeth, daughter of William H and Christiana Hinchcliffe. Right, so Christiana Sutton, which is Joseph Sutton, who's buried here, his niece, she married a man called William Henry Hinchcliffe. Now there's a lot of Hinchcliffes in Thorne. My great granduncle is William Henry Hinchcliffe. Okay, so William Henry Hinchcliffe married Christiana Sutton, this man's niece, and their daughter Christiana and William Henry's daughter Elizabeth is buried right next to him in this grave. Crazy, what a crazy connection. That's a connection directly to me through marriage. Like I say, William Henry Hinchcliffe was my great grandmother's brother. So yeah, crazy. So my great grandmother was called Sarah Ann Hinchcliffe. She married a man called James Jackson. Yeah, so that's how it connects to me. And I know there's lots of other people who watch the video on Facebook who were connected to that same family. So yeah, that's just a little bit of information there. And there's also a man, his grave is over that way, and I'm going to try and find it, and his name is Herbert Sutton, and Herbert is the nephew of this Joseph as well, through William, the same guy who is the father of this Christiana Sutton. So yeah, that sounds complicated, but yeah, trying to get it across. So yeah, lots of connections here. Someone did send me a picture of Herbert's grave, so I'm gonna see if we can find any more members of the Sutton family, and we'll go from there. Right, so we've been wandering. Roman's been checking some graves, hasn't you, kid? Yeah. He's got a big stick now, as kids do. So we have managed to locate our first missing grave that was on Find a Grave, people requesting photos and information from the grave. So we was looking for a man called Robert Cusworth, and I believe his wife Anne. So we have found Robert Cusworth. His wife is not in this grave, so let me show you. So there is the grave of Robert Cusworth, so of Thorne Quay. So obviously he lived on a barge. There seems to be a lot of people here living on barges and boats. And Ellen, daughter of the above, widow of the late Hugh Hutchinson. So we've located this guy. We'll look around, see if his wife's anywhere nearby. Yeah, it's not in that one. You can see, look at all these graves smashed up, and all these grave markers here down the side have just been moved. But yeah, that's one of us. One of our missions complete. So we're just looking round for the other Sutton graves, and I found this one, Charles Frederick Hinchcliffe, and there's some fresh flowers there as well. So again, like I said before, with the other grave, William Henry Hinchcliffe, who married Christiana Sutton. William Henry is my great-great-granduncle. So I'm guessing that this person might also fit into my family tree. So I'm going to log this down and see if this person fits in there. So just found another grave here, and it's got a name on that I recognise. So my granddad's family were from Wales, and they were farmers, and they moved to Thorne, and my granddad became a shipbuilder, and he worked at Dunstan's shipbuilding yard. Now, next to where Dunstan's was is Stannylands, which is another shipbuilding yard. And I've just found a grave here of Mary Ann and Stephen Stannyland. So I wonder if they are connected to the boat builders. There seems to be a heavy lean towards living on barges, boat building. I think that was must have been Thorne's biggest industry back in the day. Lots of connection to that. So yeah, it's just another connection that I've just noticed just from a name. So, but yeah, still need to find this Sutton grave. Keep looking. Right, I can see it. I notice it from the picture. So there we have Herbert Sutton. Died April 4th, 1914. Also Herbert, the adopted son of Herbert and Annie. So Herbert and Annie adopted, I've got this from the family trees I've been researching, they adopted 2 children also called Herbert and Annie. Yes, so the older Herbert Senior, his wife, she remarried after he died. She married a man called Percy Kellett, and Kellett's a name that's come up when I've been researching another tree. So yeah, yes, the younger Herbert killed on active service February 7th 1919, aged 18 years old. So that is another connection. So there's Charles Darley's grave there. So the Joseph Sutton grave is there next to next to the daughter of William Henry Hinchcliffe and Christiana Sutton. So that's right over there. Charles Darley's grave, and then yeah, Herbert Sutton. So yeah, glad I found that. So we're just gonna have one last little look around. So we've managed to find only one grave on our list of on our hit list for find a grave. So yeah, we're just gonna have one last little scout now, see if we can find one more maybe, and then we're gonna head home. But I will be doing another video going into the big grave when I clear that, and yeah, we'll do some more when we find some others too. So not found any more on our hit list, but just thought we'd just take a quick look at these. These are the Commonwealth War graves. You can see these are in much better shape than all the rest. Obviously they're a little bit newer, but people do come and look after these. So yeah, let's just have a look at the names. J. Simpson, King's Own, Yorkshire Light Infantry. J.T. Weldrake of the Yorkshire Regiment, 20 years old. And there's another one here. So this isn't, see it's buried elsewhere, so he's in this churchyard, but we don't know where his actual grave is. Corporal T.E. Butler. So I've seen this guy, I've seen his name before, Thomas Butler I believe his name is, which could be a relation to me. So my great grandfather was called Joseph Butler, and he got the military medal. He isn't buried in this graveyard, he's buried in literally 1 minute walk in the next graveyard. So we will check that graveyard out one day. So it's possible that this Thomas Butler is a relation of mine. Yeah, being from the same village. So my grandmother was Jean Butler, and she married Harry Moss. Thomas Henry Moss was his real name, but he went by Harry. So fun fact, my middle name is Thomas Henry, and Roman's middle name is Thomas Henry as well. So we carried on that that name, even though my granddad never went by that name. Everyone knew him as Harry Moss. So yeah, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, it really does help get the video out to more people. So just got interrupted there by an older lady, just came over and was talking about Herbert Sutton. Crazy, she said, I just saw you looking at Herbert Sutton's grave. Did you know that he used to own the Canal Tavern? So this is something that I did look at. I saw that his wife was living at the Canal Tavern, so yeah, he must have ran the Canal Tavern pub. Again, all the Sutton family, they seem to have lived on barges, which is makes sense because the Canal Tavern is obviously on the canal. So yeah, just a mad, I'm guessing she lives in one of these houses. She just came over for a chat. So pretty cool, that. Pretty cool, lots of info on the Sutton family. And I'm going to stick that into a family tree. I'm going to build a public family tree on Ancestry with what I find in this graveyard. So again, yeah, thanks a lot. Like, subscribe, and yeah, more to come.